All right. Hey, everybody. Good evening. We are now recording. Tonight we have Marlee speaking. She is really fantastic and the sweetest person ever. And tonight she's going to be talking about, making you a priority through tough times and, getting through that. Marlee, why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about you real quick and how you got into to Beachbody.
Okay, let's see. My name's Marlee. I'm from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I'm a social worker, but I work as a youth tracking program coordinator. So I work with juvenile delinquents, yay, from the ages of 13 to 17 that get court ordered to work with me. So I'm kind of like this little shiny, bubbly thing, and then my co-partner brings like the heat. So it's kind of a good mixture. I come from a huge family of 2 brothers and 4 sisters, and I get to be right smack dab in the middle. So life was kind of crazy growing up. I got into Beachbody, I'd say, little over 2.5 years ago. My upline coach was Amanda. I just drew a blank on her last name, a different Amanda. But she no longer is with Beachbody. But I see that she's doing things like Shakeology and some of the stuff again. So maybe we'll recruit her back, which is kind of exciting. So I started that in grad school, becoming a coach. I didn't put too much into it, but recently, within the last year, now that I graduated grad school and everything, I've been focusing on it more. So kind of excited to see where it goes. I'm going to Summit this year for the first time ever. So I'm kind of like really pumped for that and to host my first team call tonight, which might be a little emotional. So sorry if there are some tears, but it'll be a good chat. That's about all I have.
Awesome. Well, then go ahead and dive right into to what you got.
Okay, so my main topic is taking time for yourself when a stressful situation arises. I'll talk about like 3 main points, like what kind of helped me through my situation, communication, and how long it might take somebody to get through a stressful situation or what they exactly need. So, my story starts actually like 3 years ago. My father was diagnosed with ALS, which is like Lou Gehrig's disease. You know, that whole ice bucket challenge that was going on for quite a while. And during that process, with him getting sick and stuff, he was still able to drive and do a lot of his things, which was kind of stressful on our family. But he also had a truck explosion take place, so he had burns to his face and his hands. So that was kind of hard. And then the last few months, like right before Christmas, he got sicker and started going downhill where he couldn't talk and do a lot of the things that, you can't do towards the end of your life. Yes, stressful, very stressful indeed. And then actually tomorrow will be, hi you guys. Tomorrow will be a month since he passed away because he died right before Christmas. Which was really, really stressful for my entire family. But what helped me the most through that entire process was one of the things that helped me most was my faith. And some people, it's religion, spirituality that helps them, praying, talking to friends, meditation, mindfulness, even reading, or just taking a step back for yourself. Like, I realized that it was going to be an emotional time for me. So I reached out to some of my friends that were really close, that I've become really super actually close to on Beachbody. One was Amanda Crowley and Brianne Crawford. I sent them an inbox message. Hi, beautiful ladies. I sent them a message saying, I might not be on Facebook for a while. This is what happened. And I'm sorry I didn't really talk about it. They knew that my dad was sick, but nobody really knew how sick or what was actually going on because I wasn't somebody that posted a lot. Like when things get stressful for me, I step back and I don't like communicate a lot. So that was really hard for me. What would help the most was reaching out for them, like communication. I know it's hard, especially during a stressful situation. You need to find who your go-to people are. Like, I'm stressing communication because when you dig yourself into that black hole, it's hard to step back out of that again. And they kind of realized that because over Thanksgiving when my dad started getting sicker, I kind of just like didn't post on things. I was very quiet on Facebook, and they're like, hey, what's going on? So I finally like let things out and told them what was going on. And you can tell others as much or as little as you want to tell them what's going on in your life, but people will notice when you're not there. You need to find that support system. And another thing that also helped me was taking time for myself. That's why I stepped back. I know I needed that time. You also need to find your strengths and weaknesses. Like my strength was actually posting a couple of videos on Facebook around the time that my dad died or passed away. I posted some videos about just funny things about him because I knew that his Christmas gift was going to heaven and that he was no longer in pain. Yes, that's hard to accept, but I realized that's what he would have wanted us to be happy. I know my weakness was communication. That's why I spoke up and out to some of my friends. And I reached out to family and friends especially because that helped during that time. And if I would have been hosting a challenge group, I would have talked to another coach and asked them to step in for me. Because honestly, for at least a period of 2 or 3 weeks, my brain was scrambled and a mess. Like I was happy to wake up in the morning or attempt to go to sleep. Working out was like the last thing on my mind. Drinking my Shakeology, I think I maybe did that once or twice in that period of time. But now that my brain is starting to function again and get on a roll of working out and things, it's going better. Nobody can tell you how long the grieving process is or how to get over a stressful situation in a snap. There's days still where I struggle and I'm stressed about things. Besides like what I was stressful or how I dealt with my situation, there's stressful times at work, like if you're dealing with a coworker or a boss that's on your back about things, or if you're struggling with depression or anxiety, those are very stressful things as well. Or family or friends when they get stressful. It's good to know when to take a step back. Like at first I didn't want to take a step back, but I knew it's what I needed to do so I could process everything and start to move forward a little bit. It won't always be easy. I'll have up and downs and different days where it might be better, but I'm just happy that everybody was here to help and support me, especially when I needed it the most. I know I didn't get back to people all the time, but that's okay. You need to know what works for you and do that. Let's see what else. Talked about what helped for me. Communication. What you talk to other people. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes. Let's see.
That's okay. Take your time.
Sorry, I talked kind of fast.
I do that all the time.
I know. Cool down. Let's see. I talked about what helps me. Team page. I know I didn't post much on my coaching page or team page, so I want to go back and write a little blurb about what actually like happened and why I took a step back, just to let some of my followers know what's going on. I even had friends message me and say, how are you making videos or making posts? I'd be a wreck if I were you. At times, some of the videos I made, they were heartfelt, but I wanted to let others know what was going on in my life so that they knew, I don't know, I just wanted to be a witness to help other people get through stressful situations and show them that, yes, there's a time to cry, there's a time to be happy, there's a time to be stressed, and there's a time to move on or look back on the happy things. But my question for all of you ladies tonight is, what is a stressful situation you have done in the past or currently dealing with, and how are you dealing with that situation?
Do you want, I could change you as the host, but that might make things confusing. Well then, I guess I'll start to answer and then I'll just click on everybody else. So I actually started coaching when I had just started nursing school,
Ooh.
and my boyfriend and I had broken up, and I moved back in with my parents, and then I started dating someone else who had a drinking problem, and he had a seizure on my birthday, and was in the hospital for 7 days and has been sober ever since. But you can imagine that was rocky. Plus, my first semester of nursing school, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer and had surgery. So, and had a lumpectomy and radiation, et cetera. So the week before my finals, she had the surgery. So I totally get where you're coming from. I feel like what helped me the most was the community that I had formed here and, through Beachbody, and also maintaining my workouts and just maintaining that consistency, because I feel like now I can do anything. Like after working a 12-hour shift and I went and did 21-day fix extreme, I could do anything. So I feel like maintaining that consistency is really key, despite, you
might be feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it helped because sharing that experience with other people, I can now tell someone, well, no, I don't really have time for coaching, or I don't have, I don't have time for coaching, or I don't have time to work out. And I'm like, I get you. Like, here's what I had going on. And then they're kind of, it puts it into perspective. Like, oh, wow, I thought I was busy. You were clearly busy. And I'm like, yeah. And I made the effort and I made myself a priority despite all of that, and that helps connect with people and let them know that if they want to be a priority, they've got to make themselves a priority. So yeah.
Exactly.
So Stephanie, do you want to, I'm going to mute myself so that this doesn't keep doing that. Stephanie, do you want to go ahead?
I don't have anything.
Okay.
I missed half of her conversation because my farm internet kicked me off.
That's okay.
Do you want to, Marlee, do you want to ask the question again? And Stephanie has actually recently, Stephanie's been through a lot and she has maintained consistency and gone emerald. So actually, I really want to. Yeah, go. So ask the question again, Marlee, if you don't mind.
Okay. What is a stressful situation that you are currently dealing with or dealt with in the past, and how did you take time for yourself, or what did you do when that was going on?
So I guess I don't. From what Catherine said, we'll just go back to the beginning of my story, I guess, because it starts my stressful situation. I kind of fell apart in the coaching group that I was in, and me and my coach no longer got along. And at that time, I felt it was the best for me to actually quit Beachbody. So I took the 6-month hiatus and came back under a different coach and started all over again, knowing that that was my passion that I loved, and I actually had missed it through 6 months. Yeah. And then within this last 6 to 8 months of me coaching again, the upline that I signed up under has recently quit. So this is my family here.
Aww, we're happy to have you.
My coach that is underneath, that I'm now under, she hasn't reached out to me. I've tried reaching out to her. So this is my family, and that's how I'm dealing with my coaching stressful situation.
On top of being a mom and a farmer and just being amazing. So
I love your farmer videos. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, so that's why I just wanted her to say a quick something. Sorry to put you on the spot, Steph, but you are amazing. So I just wanted you to say just a little quick excerpt. So, all right, Pamela, why don't you go ahead?
Hi, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Marlee, I'm sorry for your loss.
And
I saw a little clip of it on Facebook, but I didn't really know what was going on. So I'm very sorry.
Okay,
and I do know that your dad wants you to be very, very happy and healthy.
That's true.
That's true. So my dad is dying with cancer. And he basically is on a, it's not really chemo because he's not strong enough for chemo. So it's a pill that they call the Abby pill.
Okay.
And it's a little bit newer. And it's basically just going to prolong his life just a little bit. So we're looking at like probably a year. I mean, maybe at the most a year and a half. We're not really sure. It could be 4 months. Could just be in 4 months. I mean, he's not doing well. So, I guess what was going on with me is over the past, I guess, 4 months, I've been dealing with, I have 2 brothers. I'm in the middle, like you, Marlee. I'm the only girl in the middle.
Oh boy.
And and so my older brother isn't really too supportive. My older brother's very, very, very successful and very rich. So his main goal in life is that's what he cares about the most. And so I'm not really like that. I'm more about love and, really caring about people. So that's been hard. Then my younger brother is schizophrenic. And so it's like a roller coaster ride. And he does actually live here, which makes it really hard. So it's like, it's been really stressful. So I've been driving back and forth to Denver, which is about an hour and 15 minutes. Driving back and forth, 2 or 3 times a week. And, I just think that finally I came to the decision that I do have to take care of myself. I mean, I know what it's like to spend days and hours, months and years, like 20 years, crying and grieving and things like that, because I had a case going on from the time I was 24 up until the time I was 40. I pretty much dealt with a case with my own children because of my ex-husband, who's been in prison twice. Very educated person, master's degree, everything, but he was very abusive in law enforcement as well. So I struggled with that. He would take my children and run with my children. So all of that. So basically I gave up the good health that I was in. I gave it up for 20 years. I never worked out, never ate right. I know what it's like to lose all the way down to 115 pounds to where I was like nothing. And I also know what it's like because I had post-traumatic stress disorder through it all. And I was on this high-powered medication, which makes you gain weight overnight. So that made me gain from 115 pounds all the way up to 170 pounds. And of course I wasn't working out anything. I was just so down, so depressed for 20 years. So I lost all my 20s, lost my 30s. And it's very important as to who you marry in this world. I can testify to that because just trust me on that. You want to date them at least 4 years before you get married. And you want to know their family. You want to know their families really well. So what's come out of all of the tragedies in my life is exactly what you said, Marlee. You definitely do not feel guilty if your family members are suffering. Your family members are being abused. Your family members are dying. Basically, this is part of life. And there are evil things that do go on in the world. Yes, there are. But we do have to take care of ourselves, because what will happen is if you don't take care of yourself, you will lose yourself and you will die.
You do.
So, wake up every morning, eat your breakfast, work out. And so personally, I've been doing, I'm going on 1 year, January 24th will be my 1 year anniversary in Beachbody. Yay. And thank you, Darla. Hi, Darla. I mean, I have to laugh a little. It's kind of a nervous laugh, but because I'm really like putting myself out. I'm not even giving you details, but this is super, super hard for me.
It is. Tonight I rehearsed.
What happened? Well, basically, I was running for my life, you guys. I mean, I was actually going to be murdered during that 20. Okay. So anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, you know, you're very special. Every single person on this call is very, very special. You're very important, and people need you to be okay. So people, my children, now that they're grown, Daniel will be 24 and Hartley will be 26 soon this year. And, you know, my children need me. My husband needs me. I need to be okay. I need me. And I need myself back. And so it is super hard. Life is tough. Things do happen. And I have to work out. Well, right now I'm on my 21-day detox, so I can't work out, and I'm on day 10.
Fidgety.
I'm really fidgety. But I have to teach my classes. But I'm just like, guys, I'm on a detox, so I'm just gonna like show you how to do it, and I'm gonna count, and you do it. But I'm craving on February 1st to get into. I'm gonna start Brazil butt lift.
Ooh, let me know how that one goes.
Yes, and I'm gonna do the 60-day booty makeover. So it's important to me now, and even my dad, who's dying, I've had a long talk with him. And, you know, what I'm saying is, I don't mean to generalize everybody's parents, but our parents want us to be healthy and happy.
They do.
They want us to. And that's what they want more than anything. They want us to be honest, open, healthy, happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, that's what we need to do. And that's what I'm doing. And I had a really good conversation with Darla today.
Mm.
And about how do I really feel about myself when I look in the mirror? What do I see? Things like that. Just a real heart-to-heart talk. Just it's tough, huh? So what's getting me through is working out and taking my Shakeology and eating cleaner, eating better, and actually eating more food than what I used to. You know, eating more food. I really actually wasn't eating enough food.
You weren't eating the right amount of the right food.
Exactly.
Pamela, you should write a book.
She should.
Well, I was going to, and it was going to be called Run Through the Jungle.
I like that.
How to survive, or something about survival. But now I'm going to write a book called Bold, Fit, and Sassy, From Survival to Fully Living.
Ooh, I love that.
What do you think?
I love that. Awesome. Brianne, do you want to speak? Your screen is black. I don't know if you're there. Go ahead, Brianne.
Sorry, I was going to the bathroom.
Oh. Well, then in that case, I'm glad you're.
No, it's all good. I'm done now. So it's funny that you talk about that, Pamela. Oh gosh, where do I even start? So I'm running back and forth. I don't know if you noticed, but I've just driven across town 2 times because my child goes to my 15-year-old son goes to let me just sit down. This would be great. I haven't sat down in I don't know how long. He goes to a charter school because he has really bad ADHD, and we've been struggling with meds. And this past week, we found out, oh, my butt's wet because I sat down wet. Awesome. He found out that his girlfriend might be hearing voices, and we don't know what that's all about. And then I also have a 2.5-year-old who goes to a babysitter that watches TV most of the day and sleeps 4 hours at night during the day. So she's up till 12 o'clock at night. So I'm a little tired, which drains and wears on you. And then I'm trying to teach her father, who's a first-time parent, how to parent, and that's a frustration. And so I was just thinking when you said that, Pamela, that when people ask, when do you take time for yourself and what do you do? I was like, I can't even give my husband a baby to eat dinner, to sit down for this call. Like, I have to be the one. I'm pretty much the one who has the pants in this whole thing. And without me, like, what are people going to do if I took a day off or if I didn't? I almost got hit by a car because people don't stop. Oh my goodness. So, when Pamela said that, it was like, okay, I need to sit down and function. Like, what about me? Because if I don't take care of me, then I can't take care of everybody else. And Pam sent me this song, and the minute I heard the word God in it, I started bawling. Like, I just started bawling. And, in this business, it's just so important to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. And I was just thinking today of, like, this is my solstice of, like, I look forward to Thursday nights, because this is when I can sit down. I don't have any distraction. I sit at my computer or my phone and I talk to you ladies, and I'm super, super on fire and encouraged by the end of this call. No matter what we talk about, like, I'm driving, and luckily it was dark so you guys couldn't see. I'm sucking up tears because I'm so deathly tired. Like, it's just beyond craziness. And you guys are losing people in your lives, and I'm bitching and complaining about a kid not going to sleep. Like, my problems are nothing. So, I always say to everybody, like, suck it up, buttercup. And somebody told me that today. They're like, we're going to give you a piece of your own medicine. And I was like, you know what? It's true. Like, we talk about, like, first world problems and that kind of thing. It's going to change in the next month when I get my tax return back, because we're changing her to a different school, to which she'll be on a better schedule. And I'm trying to, if she doesn't get her way and want to watch TV at night, she'll scream really loud, and she'll scream for a good 45 minutes. And my husband has to get up really, really early to go to work. So that's a struggle and being a preschool teacher, I let her scream it out. And so we argue because, he's like, but this is my one and only kid. I don't want to hear her cry. Maybe she's hurt, that kind of thing. So I have to say that, how did I overcome it? Because Beachbody and talking on our team calls, talking to you guys, talking to my coaches, talking to people in my challenge groups, running challenge groups, it's frustrating though for myself, because I get caught up in the, like, rank advancement and making SC5 and that kind of thing. And when I get in that rut, I have to step back and go, okay, this is about relationships. Marlee put it down pretty well of, like, you know what, there's some days where I'm like, don't effing bother me. I just want to be left alone. Like, right now, my perfect vacation for a week is a home staycation with my phone off and nobody bothering me. And sometimes we have to do that. Sunday is my day. Put my phone down, and I've designated Sundays as no longer, listening to messages and that kind of thing. Reading The Miracle Morning. I don't know if you guys have read that. It's like a game changer. Marlee and Amanda and I have been reading it. And Erin, my coach Erin, it's a game changer of, you know what, I don't turn my phone on when I first wake up, and I have to be reminded, put the do not disturb button on, and read my Bible and read my write in my journal and do those things to take care of myself, because if I can't take care of myself again, then I can't take care of anybody else, which can be hard in the day-to-day hustle. So I want to tell you guys, I'm super, super grateful and thankful for you guys, because I feel like this is my addiction, and I get excited to come here every Thursday. And I'm very proud of you, Marlee. That was awesome. And your dad would be so, so proud.
Thank you.
I think it's hard because you get wrapped up, and especially if you have a family, not only are you giving of yourself in this company, and you're putting yourself out there constantly, and you're sharing your story, and you're working to inspire others, and then you've got, and that can be draining, and then you've got, like, home life that can be difficult and draining as well. And so taking that time each and every day is really important, even if it's a 10-minute walk. And I turned my phone on Darla and I have read the Miracle Morning, and I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb every single night now. And that's it. So, anyway, so in the effort of moving things forward, Pam, why don't you, jump in?
Well, situations. Well, Darla knows that I could probably list situations for hours. Currently, I have a Air Force son that's getting ready to get married in June. I'm gaining a daughter. I have a daughter that has issues, kind of like Pamela's. She has some major issues, and it's funny because some people don't even know that I have a daughter because I don't talk about her much because there's not much to talk about, and what I do talk about is never really positive, so I just don't. So that's kind of difficult. But of course I have Caleb, and he keeps us on our toes all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's never a dull moment in our house. Never, ever. How do I deal with it? Very much like Marlee does. It's faith-based. It's all faith-based. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And that and workouts. I can skip my workouts for a few days, and my husband will be the first one that says, I think you need to go work out. It gets that bad. But that's my stress relief. I read the Miracle Morning, and mine is now, Bo gets up at the crack of dawn, literally. And so I decided, instead of laying in the bed while he's getting ready, why not just go ahead and get it done? And so I get it done, which gives me an extra half hour to 45 minutes that I can spend with Caleb if he's not in the middle of watching cartoons or doing something. And then I've got time to check in with challengers. I've got time to post a video and do a few things before I head off to work and the day gets started, and it doesn't stop until I get home. But Thursday nights, I'm kind of like Brienne. They're my addiction. I make sure that everybody's been fed, showered, homework's done, everything is finished, and this is where I'm at. So, yeah, that's how I deal with it.
Pam, you're amazing. Pam gets up at like the butt crack of dawn to do her workout. And it just, oh my God.
You're crazy.
Yeah. Okay. Darla, last but most certainly not least.
She's not.
Oh, okay. I was trying to mute myself there. Like, I can't speak. Am I last, really? Surely there's somebody else who needs to talk.
Hey, next week, can we make sure Darla goes first?
No.
Yeah.
Bria.
I always
Don't make me hashtag.
because I know she likes to keep her pose like this and keep her phone out like that, and I know she likes to stay like that for a while. So I let her strike her pose for a while, and then I call on her.
Thinking.
Well, if I put the phone down lower, then it's all boobs, so I have to hoist it up.
I know she likes to hear from everybody
Bibles.
before she pipes up. I know that Darla enjoys listening to everyone before speaking herself. So that's why
I do.
That's why I always end up calling on her last, because I know she enjoys it. And all right, but Darla, it's your turn to speak. Your turn. Stressful. I mean, God, everyone here has such amazing examples and so original to them of ways we push through the stress and ways that we continue to make ourselves a priority, and what we do to continue to make this business work around our lives. And, despite what's going on. And Darla is another great example of that, as everyone else has been tonight. So Darla, I'm going to stop talking.
Well, first, Marlee, that was completely and totally awesome. I had heard a little bit about your dad being sick, and I didn't know he had passed away. So my sincere condolences. And I think I have told you before, because I think Danny are both from Manitowoc. And that's actually where my stepfather is from. And so I've actually been to Manitowoc one time, and his parents are both buried there. And so he just came back from a trip where he met his brother and his sister, who I think he had not seen his sister. Oh my gosh, I want to say 17 years. He hasn't seen her. So they both met in Manitowoc, October, November-ish. So anyway, so I know where you're from. I have knowledge. So anyway, I mean, everybody's stories. I think it's one thing I love about coaching is someone's like, well, why do you do it? It's because we're family and we're friends. And I think I posted in Synergy. I mean, I literally get excited for everybody else. It's not anything for, I think, anyone's personal gain. We give freely, we love freely, we give compliments freely. It may not be, sometimes we not be as engaged with each other as much, but it's like we have each other's backs no matter what. It's like, and I was sitting here reflecting because, Brianne and I have talked and have conversations. Pamela, obviously, we have conversations. Pam, we have conversations. Catherine and I talk. And there's one other coach who's not on here. It's like, so I know, it's like, details when you get to know other people on a personal level, that when you see them rise above, and Marlee, I don't know you as well yet.
But we'll get there.
I'll get there, and New Orleans, baby. But I mean, we get to know each other, and just the fact that we can still share, and we are upright and not on mass amounts of drugs and medication. And Stephanie, I just love getting to know her. She is so funny in person. Not that she's not funny on Facebook, but she is so amazing and so sweet and so genuine in person. And when you meet your coach friends, it's like you've known each other for your whole life. And it's just another little piece of the puzzle just clicks. So I think I keep trying to close the door and the cat keeps opening it. So I'm trying to close this.
I have to agree with Darla. Stephanie is fantastic, and I shared a room with her at Summit this year, and it was amazing. And she is even more fantastic in person than she, shares on social media. So she is absolutely the bomb, the bomb diggity. All right, go on, Darla. Sorry.
So I guess if we're all talking about, how we overcame or how we're overcoming or how we kind of jumped in this, I'm probably one of the least likely people who should be a coach ever. There was a joke that I kept sending people to Amanda because I didn't want to be involved in this network marketing thing, because I thought all these coaches, y'all were in some crazy MLM cult thing. I didn't know what you guys were doing, but it's like, okay, so my first challenge group was Brazil butt lift, and I was in a challenge group with Pam, and it was like almost 4 years ago. It's like 3.5 years ago. And I'm like, okay, these people aren't so crazy. And so people are like, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing this beach body. What's beach body? I say, well, that insanity thing and that Tony Horton guy. And they're like, what? It's a P90X. I'm like, yeah. So I said, I kept sending people to my coach. So finally she's like, well, you need a coach. And I'm like, oh, so not a coach. And she says, well, thank you for sending me all of these people because I'm making money off of your work. And then that kind of struck a chord with me. And I'm like, well, hold up. Wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean? And she's like, well, we were in a P90X3 group. It's 3 years ago this month. And I was really active, and I was posting, and everyone was checking in, and all this accountability. And I met all these people from all over the country. And again, Pam was in that group with me. And sure enough, it's like you check in with these people who you don't even know, because their journey becomes as important as your own journey. And you want to see them succeed more than you want to succeed. So I kind of bit the bullet and jumped in at the end of that month, because I'm like, well, this is cool. And if this is what I have to do to stay a part of this community, then I'll do it. So everybody didn't know what I jumped into. It was probably the least likely thing I would have ever thought to do at that time. Like you, there's people who know me. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that I don't share about it all. But I think my mom was just diagnosed with breast cancer. She had undergone surgery. She was undergoing radiation. We had just found out that she has a tumor in her brain that's inoperable. It is not cancerous, but it is a very invasive tumor. She also has hemangioma, which is a blood-filled tumor that is actually destroying her liver. That can do about it. So I'm watching this woman who's now, we just found out she's got a brain tumor because she passed out. It wasn't from the radiation. She's got cancer. I'm trying to hold this together. I've got one kid graduating from high school, one in college, and two that moved out of the house. And so I'm trying to maintain and keep everybody together and everything together because it all falls on me. And then in the middle of this, my aunt, who I have had a passive-aggressive relationship with, she passes away from cancer. And that's when we found my mom's tumor. And then we just like bipolar. My mother, she's like, we're going to go to Italy. So I thought, okay, be a great month for my family. And it turned out, and I think Brianne was watching, so was Pam. It ended up being this like really, really wicked vacation from hell. It was, I mean, here we are in Italy, which you think is great, but you're with somebody who's kind of bipolar and kind of crazy and coming off radiation. And they put her on these drugs that it changed her personality. So I'm like mom. I always have been mom. Since I was a little girl, I have been mom. I haven't been the little kid. I've been the person who takes care of everybody. And so how could I take care of anybody else if I couldn't take care of myself? And when I say the least likely time, I think I had the least it's one of my lowest periods where I thought the worst of myself. So what you kind of have to know is when you start caring and loving other people, you're doing it because they're worth it, because you want to know what's up with them, what makes them tick. Not some kind of psychoanalysis mode, but it's like, you know, I was telling Pamela earlier, it's like when you get to know coaches and challengers and people, it's like you have to be willing to love them enough to understand what they're going through, and then not only walk a mile in their shoes, but walk 2 miles in their shoes while you're carrying them. Because that's what if you're coaching, they know you're being salesy, they know you're in it for commission, they know you're in it for recruiting, but when you're willing to become invested on a personal level, and I didn't know if I had that in me. I kind of thought I was too broken to actually do one more thing. And I left the job that I worked at for 17 years. It's like everything happened at one time, and I thought it was absolutely crazy. However, some of the most craziest things that you've ever done, that there is no reason other than I fully believe that God just puts things in front of you, and you just know when you need to jump. And I jumped. And it will be at the end of this month, on the 31st, it will be 3 years. It is the craziest, nonsensical, best, most amazing decision I have ever made the most amazing people I've ever met, and I would not trade this experience at all. And, you know, Pam and I were talking about, you know, when you finally get it, and you do this 180 because you come to this point to where you're not willing to settle anymore for the person that's looking at you in the mirror, because you've put so much on her that she never deserved. And there's a quote that I say, it's like, how would you handle if someone talked to you the way you internally talk to yourself? And I'm tired. I'm not willing to do that anymore. So in a nutshell, it's like we're just all total badasses. And we're badasses. You guys are all amazing. You know, it's like, you know, I'm so proud of Pamela for sharing, and Pam for sharing, and Brianne and Marlee and Catherine and Stephanie, because you guys have this humongous story. And I am so in love with you guys, and you guys are my hero. And Brianne, you're about to make me cry. You guys are my hero. And it's like, you know, it's more than just a job, way more than just a job. And so if we don't make Success Club, but you helped 4 people and it didn't earn you a dime, but it earned you, I don't know, stars in heaven, mansions in the sky, and you have respect for somebody and trust, because once you have trust in somebody, you put your faith in it. And it may be 7 years down the road, 7 months, or 7 days. But once you have that, it's like that is the most important thing, and you never let that go. So
Or
box
you
done.
get those little messages, like had one sent to me the other day, somebody I barely know on Facebook. They're like, I'm going back to the job that I used to love doing just from watching your posts and videos and things that you put on Facebook. It makes me want to go back and do the job I love. And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, okay. Like, you never know who's watching you or what you're saying is touching someone else's life.
I get that all the time. I got one from a particular person who hasn't gotten a challenge pack or anything. We've talked about it, but she's my age and she has this chronic back problem. And she literally for the last like 6 months couldn't walk because the pain was so bad and it was actually physically debilitating her. And she sent me a private message and said, during some of my darkest hours, I just scroll through your Facebook. And she hasn't once liked any of my stuff and she hasn't commented. But she said to me, you inspire me every single day to not like quite literally throw myself off the Golden Gate Bridge. And I was like, okay, like then I've done what I need to do. And on days when I'm not wanting to post anything, I think of her. And I think of if this was a dark day for her and if she needed to see something from me, and I think that there are so many other people. And Darla, you are amazing. And of course, most of us are now almost in tears. And this is why Darla is always last. To bring it all in, to close out the call, bring in the tears, and just like, bam, close the deal, because she's going to be our preacher. Lindsay Matway always talks about how she's got like people that are teachers that she does during the Dynasty Surge and then people who are preachers. And she's got like the emotional, like, preacher, amazing, to like bring it all in and the passion and all that jazz. And so anyway, you guys are all amazing. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you in my life. I know hearts and
kick-ass call, Marlee. That was awesome.
Marlee, thank you so much for speaking and bringing this topic up. I think it's really great, especially since we're still in the season of high depression with seasonal affective disorder and depression rates being high. It's a lot. So, people are still battling that. And, some people even in this group, so I really appreciate you bringing that up and being vulnerable enough and comfortable enough telling us a little bit about your story. And everybody else, Pamela, I had never even heard that part of your story. So, oh my God, I am just like,
you melted my heart.
My heart's in pieces.
I told you guys should have shared this a long time ago.
Well, y'all are going to have to share more of your stories and stuff because that was amazing. And anyway, so I hope you guys have an amazing night and we will talk later. And I love Thursday nights. I just posted on my social media before this call that Thursday nights are like my jam. So
can I tell you? So I'm gonna go live in a little bit to do a live video about coaching, and I wanted to wait until after this call. So I'm gonna suggest that you guys do it too if you're up to it.
You're on fire.
It just like you leave this meeting off on fire
totally
and
jazzed, totally jazzed. Like Reeves is so excited right now. He's like,
yeah.
See, he's really excited.
Is he our mascot?
He totally is.
Aww.
Yeah. This is Reeves. His tongue's not out. Normally when he falls asleep, his tongue slips out because he only has 2 teeth. So his tongue slips out the side and he wakes up and it's all dried out and it's like this far out of his mouth and he just lets it hang there for like hours. So he's just chilling with his tongue out like.
Yeah, but does he have a mohawk?
No, he's got like a bum leg. Like his leg just kind of flops around and walks. I've got some great videos of it. He's a little special.
Stephanie, does your dog still have a mohawk? Stephanie's dog had a mohawk.
Really? Oh my God. Here, I can unmute everybody. All right, you guys, well, have a great evening because I know it's late for some people on the East Coast, so we try to keep it to an hour since Pam gets up, like we said, at the butt crack of dawn. So, we cut it short. Actually, we were on a call for literally 2 hours. What was it, last week or the week before? And poor Pam, I don't even know what she did the next morning. But
I worked out.
twice the amount of energized.
I don't take it.
Yeah. See, I don't function without sleep, so I don't even know.
Hey, are you drinking coffee again?
I did tonight.
No, I'm not.
Yes. No, Pam.
Hey, what you drinking?
Coffee with, I can't have sugar and I can't have dairy. So
Okay.
I found a almond coconut creamer that I can have.
Hold on. I just found one of my parents is super. Can we not record? She's super.
Oh wait, then we're gonna stop the recording
Because I just found